What would you do if you discovered that your family had been lying to you for years? I know, not small lies, but life-changing deceptions that cost you your dreams, your savings, and your self-respect? No. I'm Michael, and I just found out that while I've been eating ramen noodles to help pay my family's bills, they've been living like millionaires behind my back. This is the story of how one unexpected encounter at an airport terminal destroyed everything I thought I knew about the people I loved most. Growing up in suburban Phoenix, our family looked perfect from the outside. Mom worked as a school administrator, Dad sold insurance, and we had everything a middle-class family could want. But appearances, as I learned the hard way, can be devastatingly deceiving. My older sister Jessica was what you'd call the star child. Homecoming queen, college graduate, married a lawyer named Brad. They had twin boys, Mason and Tyler, who were the absolute center of my parents' universe. Every family gathering revolved around Jessica's latest achievements and the twins' accomplishments. Then there was me. Michael, 3 years younger, worked as a software engineer for a mid-sized tech company in Tempe. I lived alone in a decent apartment, drove a reliable Toyota, and somehow became the family's go-to guy whenever money got tight. The pattern started during my second year out of college. I was finally making good money, around $75,000 a year, which felt like winning the lottery after surviving on student loans and part-time jobs. That's when the phone calls began. "Mikey, honey." Mom's voice always got that particular sweetness when she needed something. "Your father's company is cutting hours, and we're a bit short on the house payment this month. Could you spot us just until things stabilize?" $850. Gone. But it felt good to help. That's what families do, right? We support each other through tough times. Little did I know I was signing up for a lifetime subscription to financial servitude. What started as occasional help quickly became a monthly expectation. Jessica's car needed new tires. The twins required expensive tutoring. Dad's medical bills from his knee surgery. Mom's dental work. Every month brought a new crisis that somehow required my immediate financial intervention. "Michael, I know you're single and don't have the expenses we do." Mom would say this like being unmarried made me less deserving of my own money. "It's just easier for you to help out. Jessica and Brad are drowning in childcare costs and mortgage payments." By year 3, I was contributing nearly $15,000 annually to various family emergencies. $15,000 that should have gone toward my dream of starting my own software development company. Instead, it disappeared into the black hole of their temporary financial difficulties. The requests came with increasing frequency and creativity. Emergency home repairs that couldn't wait. Urgent medical bills that needed immediate payment. School expenses for the twins that Jessica and Brad somehow couldn't budget for despite both having well-paying careers. And here's the thing that hurt most. I never got invited to their celebrations. When Jessica got promoted to senior marketing director, when Brad made partner at his law firm, when the twins won academic awards, I heard about it through casual mentions, never as someone who helped make those successes possible. While funding their lifestyle, my own dreams remained on permanent hold. I'd always wanted to travel to New Zealand, had saved for months to take a photography expedition through the South Island. But 3 days before my planned departure, Jessica called crying about the twins needing emergency orthodontic work. "Michael, I wouldn't ask if it wasn't desperate. The orthodontist says if we don't start treatment now, they'll need surgery later. It's $4,000, and insurance only covers half. Please, they're your nephews." My New Zealand trip canceled. $4,000 transferred to Jessica's account within an hour. This pattern repeated itself dozens of times. Every goal I set, every dream I saved for, somehow became collateral damage in their never-ending financial crises. A motorcycle I wanted, postponed when Dad needed a new transmission. A down payment for a house, redirected to cover Jessica's credit card debt from unexpected expenses. Everything changed on a rainy Thursday afternoon in November. I was at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, waiting for a delayed flight to Seattle for a work conference. Terminal 4, Gate 7. Me. I remember every detail because that moment rewrote my entire understanding of my family. I'm sitting there, scrolling through emails, when I hear familiar laughter from the gate across the way. I look up and my blood turns to ice. There's my entire family. Mom, Dad, Jessica, Brad, and the twins, all wearing coordinating vacation outfits, standing in the first-class boarding line for a flight to Maui. They're laughing, relaxed, each carrying expensive-looking luggage I've never seen before. For a moment, I think I'm hallucinating. These are the same people who needed my help last month for their struggling household budget. The same parents who claimed they couldn't afford to fix their supposedly broken air conditioning. The same sister who borrowed $3,000 just 6 weeks ago for emergency car repairs. But there they are, in first class, heading to Hawaii, while I'm flying coach to a business conference, eating airport pretzels because I can't afford the overpriced terminal food after helping them with yet another financial emergency. Then I hear Dad talking to another passenger in line, loud enough for half the terminal to hear, "Oh yes, we do this trip every year. Family tradition. The kids love the resort in Whaley. We always book the oceanfront suites. Every year. They do this every year, while telling me they can barely make ends meet." I don't confront them. I just sit there, watching them board their luxury flight while I process the magnitude of their deception. When I get home from my conference 3 days later, I do something I should have done years ago. I investigate. Social media became my forensic tool. Jessica's Instagram, which I rarely checked, told a story completely different from the one she'd been telling me. Photos from expensive restaurants, designer handbags, weekend trips to Sedona and Scottsdale resorts, the twins at elite summer camps that cost more than most people's cars. But she'd been smart about it. Never posting when she knew I might be paying attention. Never tagging locations while crying poverty to me. And sure, it was all carefully curated to hide their real lifestyle from their personal me. I dug deeper. Property records showed they'd refinanced their house twice in the past 3 years. Public business filings revealed Brad's law firm had landed several major corporate clients. Jessica's LinkedIn showed promotions and salary increases she'd never mentioned. They weren't struggling. They were thriving, while using my guilt and family loyalty to fund an even more luxurious lifestyle than they could already afford. I didn't call them immediately. I spent 2 weeks planning my approach, documenting every loan, every emergency, every sob story they'd used to manipulate my generosity. The total was staggering. Over $63,000 in 4 years. Enough to buy a luxury car or put a down payment on a house. Then Jessica called with another crisis. Her voice had that familiar desperate edge I now recognize as performance art. "Michael, I'm so embarrassed to ask, but the twins' school is requiring payment for their advanced placement programs. And with Brad's firm having a slow month, we just can't swing it. It's only $2,500, but if they miss the deadline—" "Jessica," I interrupted, my voice completely calm. "How was Maui?" Dead silence. What do you mean?" "Your family vacation to Maui 2 weeks ago. The first-class flights, the oceanfront suites at that resort in Whaley. How was it?" More silence. I could practically hear her brain scrambling for an explanation. "Michael, we didn't. That was a family tradition. Every year." Dad's words, not mine. I was sitting 30 feet away at Sky Harbor when you all boarded that first-class flight. What followed was the most pathetic display of backpedaling I'd ever witnessed. Jessica tried every excuse in the book. It was a surprise gift from Brad's parents. They'd used frequent flyer miles. It was a business write-off. Each lie more desperate than the last. "Michael, you're misunderstanding the situation. We really are struggling. That trip was a one-time thing." Brad's parents insisted. "Stop," I said quietly. "Just stop lying to me. I've seen your Instagram, your restaurant posts, your shopping trips, your weekend getaways. I know about the house refinancing, Brad's new corporate clients, your promotion to senior director. You've been playing me for years." Long pause. When she spoke again, her voice had completely changed. Gone was the desperate, apologetic tone, replaced by cold calculation. "Look, Michael, you're single. You have a good job. You don't have kids to support. We thought you'd want to help family. It's not like you were using the money for anything important. Not using it for anything important? My dreams, my goals, my future. None of it mattered to them. I was just their personal bank account, the $2,500 for the twins AP programs. I said, that's not happening. In fact, no more money. Michael, don't be ridiculous. We're family. Family doesn't lie. Family doesn't manipulate. Family doesn't steal dreams. You want to know what's ridiculous? That I funded your luxury lifestyle while eating mac and cheese for dinner so I could afford your emergencies. Meow. Click. Within hours, my phone exploded with messages. Mom, Dad, Brad. All with variations of the same theme. I was being unreasonable, selfish, vindictive. How could I abandon family over misunderstandings? Dad's voicemail was particularly memorable. Son, I don't know what's gotten into you, but this attitude is unacceptable. Jessica told us about your conversation. We raised you better than this. Call your mother. She's been crying all evening. Mom's text was pure emotional manipulation. Michael, I can't believe my own son would turn his back on family. After everything we've done for you. We're not asking for much. Just help when we need it. Please, don't let pride destroy our family. But the message that revealed their true colors came from Jessica. Michael, you're being a selfish brat. So what if we take vacations? We work hard for our money. Just because you choose to live like a hermit doesn't mean we have to. If you can't help family without throwing tantrums, maybe we don't need you in our lives anyway. And there it was. Their real opinion of me. The person who'd sacrificed thousands of dollars and countless dreams was just a selfish brat who should be grateful for the privilege of funding their lifestyle. I decided to respond with facts instead of emotions. I created a detailed spreadsheet. Every payment, every emergency, every sob story, dated, documented, categorized. 4 years of financial manipulation laid out in cold, hard numbers. Then I sent it to all of them with a simple message. This is what your emergencies cost me. $63,847 total. While you were living in luxury, I was living paycheck to paycheck. Every dream I postponed, every goal I sacrificed, every vacation I canceled. It was all to fund your lies. Consider this my resignation from being the family bank. The responses were swift and predictable. Dad tried authority. Michael, this is childish. Return the money. That's ridiculous. It was help for family, not loans. Mom tried guilt. How can you put a price on family? We never asked you to sacrifice anything. You offered to help. This is breaking my heart. Jessica tried aggression. Are you seriously demanding money back? That's not how family works. We thought you were being generous, not keeping score. This is pathetic, even for you. But none of them denied the facts. None of them apologized for the deception. They were angry that I discovered their scheme, not sorry that they'd betrayed my trust. 2 months into my financial independence, something interesting happened. A real emergency. Dad had a heart attack, serious enough to require surgery and extended hospitalization. Mom called me, crying genuine tears for the first time in years. Michael, please, I know things have been tense, but your father is in the ICU. The insurance doesn't cover everything. We need help with the medical bills. This is real, please. For a moment, I felt the old familiar tug, the guilt, the obligation, the need to rescue them. Then I remembered the first-class flights to Maui. Mom, I'm sorry Dad is sick. I really am. But didn't you refinance the house twice? Didn't Brad just make partner? Didn't Jessica get that big promotion? Surely between all of you, you can handle this real emergency. Michael, those things don't matter now. We need your help. The way you needed my help for the twins AP programs while you were planning your annual Hawaii vacation? The way you needed help with car repairs while Jessica was buying designer handbags? I'm done being manipulated. Figure it out yourselves. That's when the real story emerged. Through a mutual family friend, I learned the truth about their financial struggles. They'd been using my money not for emergencies, but as disposable income for luxuries. Every dollar I sent them freed up $1 in their budget for vacations. Expensive dinners, designer clothes. Dad's knee surgery? Covered by insurance. They used my money for the recovery vacation to Cabo. The twins' tutoring? They qualified for a scholarship program. My money went toward their summer camp in Colorado. Jessica's car repairs? Brad's law firm had a client who owned a body shop. The work was free. My money bought her new jewelry. For 4 years, I'd been their secret luxury fund, the invisible income stream that let them live beyond their already comfortable means, while I lived like a college student, sacrificing everything for people who saw me as nothing more than a financial resource. The family split was swift and brutal. Mom stopped calling. Dad, once recovered, made it clear I was no longer welcome at family gatherings. Jessica blocked me on all social media and told the twins their uncle was going through a selfish phase. But here's what happened next. Without their constant financial drain, my life transformed completely. I took that New Zealand photography trip, bought the motorcycle I'd always wanted, started investing in my own company idea. For the first time since college, I was living for myself. 6 months later, I heard through that same family friend that cracks were showing in their perfect facade. Without my financial cushion, they'd had to make actual sacrifices. The annual Hawaii trip was canceled. Jessica and Brad were fighting about money. The twins had to give up some of their expensive extracurriculars. They were learning what it felt like to live within their actual means, without their secret benefactor covering the gap between their income and their lifestyle. A year later, Jessica called. Her voice was different. Smaller, less confident. Michael, I know it's been a long time, but I've been thinking, maybe we could talk, work things out. I miss having you in our lives. I almost laughed. You miss having me in your lives, or you miss having my money in your bank account. That's not fair. It was never just about money. Wasn't it? When was the last time any of you called just to see how I was doing? When was the last time I was invited to a family event that didn't involve asking for financial help? When was the last time any of you treated me like a brother and son instead of a walking ATM? Silence. Michael, we were wrong. I see that now. But can't we move past this? Can't we be family again? Jessica, we were never family. Family doesn't manipulate each other. Family doesn't lie about financial struggles while living in luxury. Family doesn't use emotional blackmail to steal dreams. You want to know what you lost? Not my money. You lost my trust, my respect, and my love. And those things can't be bought back. And 2 years have passed since I cut them off, and I've never been happier. My software company launched last spring. I've traveled to 8 countries. I bought a house in Scottsdale with a pool and mountain views. Everything I sacrificed for their fake emergencies, I now have for myself. Sometimes I wonder if they've learned anything, if they understand the damage they did, if they ever feel guilty about the dreams they stole from me. And Fen. But mostly, I don't think about them at all. They're strangers to me now, people who share my DNA, but not my values. The hardest part wasn't losing the money, it was losing the illusion that they loved me. i.e., coming to terms with the fact that for years I was nothing more than a financial resource to exploit. That every conversation, every family gathering, every I love you was tainted by their hidden agenda. Here's what I want you to understand if you're living my old story. If you're the person everyone turns to when they need money, but nobody turns to when you need support, you are not a bank. You are not responsible for other people's poor financial choices. And you are absolutely not required to sacrifice your dreams for people who wouldn't sacrifice theirs for you. Real family doesn't manipulate. Real family doesn't lie. Real family doesn't use guilt as a weapon to extract money. If the people in your life only contact you when they need financial help, they're not family, they're predators in disguise. The most important lesson I learned? You can't buy love, and you shouldn't have to. Anyone who makes their affection conditional on your financial support doesn't actually love you. They love what you can do for them. My name is Michael, and I used to be my family's personal bank. I sacrificed my dreams, my savings, and my self-respect to fund their lifestyle of lies. Until one day, at an airport, I discovered the truth. and everything changed. They taught me that blood doesn't make family. Loyalty does. Respect does. Genuine love does. And when those things are absent, all you have left are people who share your last name, but not your values. Today, I live for myself. I chase my own dreams. I spend my own money on my own happiness. And I've never felt more free. If you're listening to this and you recognize yourself in my story, if you're tired of being everyone's financial safety net while your own dreams collect dust, I want you to know something. It's not selfish to say no. It's not cruel to set boundaries. And it's not wrong to prioritize your own happiness over other people's convenience. The people who truly care about you will understand everyone else was just using you anyway. My name is Michael, and this is how I learned that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away.